Hey guys, how's it going? Jebber Game and Jaws here. I, as most of you know, am a longtime Final Fantasy fan. So when I came back on the scene, Final Fantasy 12 had been released. I hadn't played that. Final Fantasy 13 had been released, and that was still at the stores. It was cheap by the time that I went to get it, so I picked it up. It was okay. I enjoyed it enough. The battle system I thought was genius, actually. I loved the battling. The battling is what kept me going in that game. Um, a lot of people didn't like the battling. They thought that you lost a lot of choice. It's kind of true, but to me, it was fast paced, still turn based, just really, really cool. You would stagger enemies by using magic skills, and then you would pummel them with combat, like heavy duty um, physical attacks. They would have like kind of schema set up, so you would before a battle you would have to set up that you want this person to be a healer, this person to be a synergist, this person to be a ravager. A lot of the battles were seriously tough, actually. There was one battle specifically that I remember. I fought the guy for about 45 minutes, lost. Fought him again for probably a half hour, lost again. And I finally ended up beating that guy, and man, it was just so amazing to beat that guy. I felt so like I had really accomplished something. It felt really cool. I love battles like that. Even though it can be really frustrating, and it definitely increases the swearing and the yelling that can be heard around the house. But man, when you beat it, it's like, yes, I'm a monster. Ah. So, anyways, that's for me. Final Fantasy 13, though. Oh my gosh, the story. Ugh, not the best. It was still like trying to be Final Fantasy. Like the parts were all there, but the parts were not equaling out to what you would expect from Final Fantasy. If the game had not been linear the way it was, like, oh, we could have, you know, handled a little bit more of it. But geez, Louise, like you were just running down corridors for the longest time. I will say though, about I think it was 15 or 20 hours into the game, finally you come to this humongous open spot, and it was beautiful, and it was amazing, and it was so full of life, and there were just like all these different monsters just running all over the place, and you could just go like it went from being like going on rails basically for 15 hours to suddenly just like humongously open, gorgeous, incredible, so beautiful. It was too little, too late, but it still was really cool. Like there were a lot of good things about Final Fantasy 13. I can't bash the whole thing. If they would have had it where Snow and Hope actually got to fight and actually got to kill each other somehow, that would have been really cool. That would have been like, wow, they actually knew how horrible these characters were, and they finally decided to do the fans a big favor and send them on their merry way so we could get on with the other characters who were decent, and especially with more development, I think could have been really good. I actually am a big fan of Lightning. I don't even have too many reasons for why I like Lightning, other than I think that she's a badass. I think that she's cool. She's really strong. Um, she's got a good head on her shoulders. She has good perspective of what's going on that a lot of the other characters are lacking. Good vision. A lot of people just think that she's cold and stoic, and she kind of is, but I liked her. I had no problem with her. I thought she was a really good character, and I really thought it was cool that she was a strong female lead. Like that a lot. So, Final Fantasy 13, I was kind of on the fence about, but I liked it enough that I decided to give 13.2 a try. 13.2, I loved. 13.2 got rid of all the linearity. You were no longer on rails. It was totally open. You had so much freedom in the game. One thing that I really liked, man, it had me from the get go. Right at the beginning, there's this opening cinematic that's just incredible. Lightning is fighting with this dude who's all wearing all black, and he's got sweet hair and this humongous sword, and they're just going crazy, battling each other, and it's just some of the best graphics I had ever seen at the time, and I was blown away. I was grabbed right away by it, and then you take control of Sarah, and you're controlling her throughout the game, and I loved the environments. I thought that they were awesome. I think that people like bashed this game a lot, saying that the story's not that good, and like maybe, but I loved it. I don't know. Like to me, it was great. I loved that game so much, and I really liked actually. I didn't mind that it was down to just two characters. There was Sarah and Noel that you were playing as throughout the game, um, and I was actually really happy with that because it felt like they were able to get more development. Um, Final Fantasy 13 proper, there was just too much going on. Like you weren't able to actually zone in and have any sort of serious depth. So I loved 13 too. The battle system was still super engaging. To me, it was like they got rid of all the things that were wrong in 13 and kept all the good things. And to me, I was just thrilled. I mean, even riding around on chocobos in 13 too was so cool. Like it felt like the best chocobo riding experience I'd had up to this date. And you know, I love chocobo stuff. I've been riding chocobos since Final Fantasy 6, 7, and you know, I love it. So, anyways, I was a big fan of 13 too, and I heard a lot of people talking about how it wasn't good. So I was like, ah, fuck it. I'm not listening to these people. Like, people are just complaining. They're out to lunch. They don't know what they're talking about. So I was like, all right, Square is back on track. So when I heard that they were releasing a third game in the series, I was excited because I kind of thought, okay, they're going to be doing the exact same thing that they did with 13.2. You know, they'll keep on that track. They'll have everything that I like. They'll have gotten rid of everything I didn't like from the original game, and it'll just be continuing the story. Sounds great. So I pre-ordered the game. Super stoked. Pre-ordered the game. Picked it up. It was either launch day I picked it up. I'm pretty sure it was launch day. I was working, I remember, and I went in. I took a break from work and went in and grabbed the game early in the morning. I even grabbed a strategy guide because I had used strategy guide for 13.2. That's right here. And this had really helped me out in 13.2. So if you are ever going to play 13.2, it's really helpful to have a guide because you're jumping all over time. You're traveling through time to a bunch of different places. So I was like, all right, great. I'm going to pick up the guide and I'm going to pick up the game. And then it was that weekend, Saturday morning, I finally popped the game in. I think I gave it about 4 hours. I played it for probably 2 hours on Saturday and probably another 2 hours on Sunday. Ugh. I couldn't take it. It was horrible. It was so miserable. Oh my gosh. Like, the 13 series is completely convoluted. Like, the plot is really, really hard to understand. I've played 13 twice now. I've played 13.2 once. So I have a decent handle on those games, but man, like your first time coming into that, they're using all these words that just make no sense, like Xiii and fallacy, and talking about so much crap. And oh my gosh, Lightning Returns just goes to a whole nother level. And I really wish that they would have just learned their lesson and not done that. Though the worst thing, they're dumping just tons of information on you. Tons. It's crazy. So the world has only got like a certain amount of days left. I think it was like 7 days left. And the biggest problem that I have with the game is there's a freaking timer. So everything, there's this awesome open game, you know, tons of really cool environments that you want to run around in, but the game actually even tells you like you need to sprint to everything that you're doing. You need to go as fast as you can because you're trying to cram everything in before the world ends. If the world ends, the game starts over. And like, no, I'm just not into that. I'm just totally not into that. Like, I play games to relax, and feeling like I have a time crunch in a video game is just not what I'm looking for. I probably would have still played the game if there was some option to turn off the clock, but man, that thing was just stressing me out from the get-go. I really wish that I could have finished the series. I mean, I bought this game, $60, $25 plus tax. So pushing $100, and that thing has sat on my shelf ever since I played those 4 horrible, torturous hours. So that was my lesson. to be a little more discriminate about pre-ordering games. Um, Man, I feel like I got duped a little bit, and a lot of people are going to be like, dude, what did you think? 13 was not a good series. And, like, you're right, but, I just explained, like, my thought process in that. Like, I really thought that they were finally doing something that I at least would enjoy. Like, no, I didn't think it was going to be, like, the best games in the series, but, I thought it was going to be at least playable. That shit is not playable to me. So, that is a hefty, expensive reminder to me that sits on my shelf to be very careful about pre-ordering games. Now, I had actually told myself I wasn't going to pre-order Final Fantasy 15. You can see my little Final Fantasy 15 display back there. I have to admit, I've gotten myself all nice and hyped up again for another Final Fantasy game, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I really think from everything that I've seen, I went into this totally like a cynic, but I really think that they're doing something good here. I've played the demo. I've watched the Kingsglaive movie, which is a movie like kind of leading up to Final Fantasy 15. They released the Brother anime series on YouTube that you can watch for free. They're taking a lot of care to build up these characters. I haven't even played the game yet, and I feel like I already know the characters and I like the characters. I think that Square is in a very delicate position where they know that they can't fuck up. They have zero fuck ups left. If they fuck up again, they're done. Like, as far as us old time Final Fantasy fans, especially, like, they're on very thin ice. I was really pissed with Lightning Returns. That was some bullshit. That game sucks ass. Sad to say. If you enjoyed it, like, more power to you. Like, I really wish I could. And I would even like to maybe someday, like, be able to push through and just figure it all out, but that's just not me right now. There's too many games out there that are amazing that I haven't played yet, so anyways, I thought I would just share that. So let me know, have you guys ever had a similar experience where you're really excited about something, thought it was going to be really great, and then were severely disappointed and had a hard life lesson? It's tough. That's tough. That is hard for me. Like, remembering being excited. Being excited is one thing, spending the money is another thing. Um, Man, and then just feeling like you have a game that just never even got played. That's just really shitty. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. This is kind of all right. Peace out, Jebber Game and Jaws. Later.